What is something random you have to tell everyone? Whale oil was used in automatic transmission fluid until 1973. The King family sued the U.S. government, accusing the United States of being involved in a conspiracy to assassinate Martin Luther King Jr. They won. Adamant to not make it about money, they only sued for $100 and donated that to charity. Honeybees can recognize human faces. Fish can hear. Oh wait, these four aren't connected. Got it. Took me a minute. Back up your hard drive. It's not a question of if it will fail, it's a question of when. Backup will fail too skeptical. Depends, regular sequential backup is almost impossible to mess up since you have multiple backups to choose from. Even better if you run integrity checks for each backup. 3, 2, 1. 3 backups, 2 different formats, 1 off-site. HDD and tape of course. I'm in Ecuador and have taught a good 15 people or so that all mosquitoes that bite you are female. That they need the blood to produce eggs. Follow-up statement. Quite literally to the first fact. I tell them by killing a biting mosquito you're not just ending one mosquito, but all the future ones she would have produced. You are the slayer of generations, not one single mosquito. Edit, based on the reception of this comment I think this makes this officially my most taught fact ever. Thanks y'all for making this a possibly. I will wear this badge with honor. Plus Slayer plus. Buffy guitar riff. The thing you stand behind to make a speech is not a podium. You stand on a podium. What you stand behind is called a lectern. One of those things that's been wrong so long it will never be corrected and they will just change the definition. Literally. Literally. This one hurts my soul. I hate to break it to you, it's literally been used figuratively for centuries. I always thought lectern sounded like a fancy way to say the thing you can hide behind when you forget your speech. If you were to eat a different variety of apple every day, it would take over 20 years to try them all. That's 20 years without seeing a doctor. Eating an apple a day, for breakfast with peanut butter, sent me to the doctor. Turns out it can be a bit acidic to your stomach if it's the first thing you eat every day and your stomach is a frickin' wuss like mine. I had to go on a heavy anti-acid for a couple weeks and stop eating them for breakfast. So enjoy, but maybe not for breakfast if your stomach is a prissy princess. This should be the random fact you tell everyone. Trying a different variety of apple every day for over 20 years? Who needs to join a gym when you can just work those jaw muscles? Always be polite because you never know who's a violent psycho about to snap. Ah, the slightly scarier version of always be polite because you never know what someone is going through. This one carries a little more incentive, too. D. My advice is always you never know if it's the worst day of someone's life. This advice meaning could range from be nice someone might be really sad all the way to this guy may be on the verge of a psychotic killing spree, so it works in many situations. I like this. I think this is the better answer. You know, I once met a mime who didn't have a clue about the always be polite rule. Let's just say he had a pretty good left hook. Hello there. Just wanted to share something totally random with you all. Did you know that cats can make over 100 different sounds? Yeah, seriously. So, what's your random fact? Drop it in the comments below and let's keep the randomness going. Pigeons are fantastic pets. They're not just in cities either. If you have a good eye you'll see them nesting just about everywhere there's a large man-made structure. They're not native outside of Africa. They're also domesticated like a cat or a dog. If you catch one you can tame them down in the same way you can tame down a feral cat. All of this. Plus they come in all shapes and sizes. I have a giant Homer, she's a 2-pounder, who is the best girl in my whole world. Edit, pigeon tax. And one more that better shows her shape. Show us exclamation mark inverted exclamation mark inverted exclamation mark inverted exclamation mark. What a perfect fat baby. How long do they live domesticated? What do you feed her? Does she snuggle? Just because I have medium skin tone and dark hair doesn't mean I speak Spanish. En serio no hablas español? Kidding. No I don't. You follow Portuguese. Yeah, I lose my Portuguese all the time. What? Why? My life is a lie. Just because I have a pet cat doesn't mean I can speak meow fluently, but I've definitely mastered the art of the awkward stare. I am down 42 pounds in 4 months. What did you do? Those are amazing results. Leg amputation. Brew you up. Dark humor is my weakness. Quitting anything addictive is a lot easier if you're as sick as a dog. I'm currently quitting weed again while sick with COVID. Not being able to physically meet your weed guy for 2 weeks will do that. This is how I quit smoking a pack a day. Being laid up in a hospital for a month will do it. 12 years haven't tea touched them since. I quit caffeine that way. I already had a splitting headache, why not go for the caffeine withdrawal too? When I got with my first BF, I was a college freshman and he was a junior. I fell for him fast and hard, but I tried to play it cool because I didn't want him to get scared off. I kept this shit up for 7 months. At the end of the school year, he came by my dorm and told me he thought we should see other people because he was my first real relationship and, given my age, he felt I should have the chance to see what else is out there. I was devastated, but the only reaction I showed was a shrug and something like sounds reasonable. Literally the moment he left, and closed the door behind him, I burst into tears. I was fucking sobbing when, about 30 seconds later, there was a knock on the door. I didn't answer, but then I heard him saying, "Hey, I left my bag in your room." Fuck.me.raw. In that moment I would have honestly rather cut a finger off than open the door, but he knew I was in there. So, I opened the door a crack, while hiding behind it, and stuck his bag out. He laughed, "Motherfucker," and asked what I was doing, before pushing the door open all the way. Ultimately it all worked out, but I'm still mortified when I think back on it today. That my dress has pockets. Look at them. You must tell us where you got it to share the pocket goodness. Carolina dress room. They all have pockets. It's changed my life X. Sorry, she keeps that info in her back pocket for special events. Cuteness. I'm proposing today and getting through the workday is killing me. We did it, boys. Let's go. Now delete Reddit/s, happy for you bud. I'm a proposal planner. Tips, actually practice what you're going to say. Stay on your knee for 30 or so seconds. Many people drop down and pop up. Practice how you're going to kneel, especially if you're getting a photographer. 90-degree knee straight back. Many people ball up because they're so nervous. If you have a big ring box, hide it in your sock. It's very noticeable in your pocket and you'll already be on a knee, so accessing your sock will be really easy. Congrats. Sometimes the smallest gesture could mean the world to someone. I was also so suicidal and lonely once. I was on a walk one day, when I happened to look up, a stranger gave me a smile. Fuck, that saved my life. More than that, it gave me hope and purpose, that maybe I could be that for others too. And ultimately I overcame depression. Of course there were many other things I've tried, but without that smile, I never would have tried. Sometimes I question if I look like a fool smiling at strangers for no reason. Guess it comes in handy once in a while. I once made a paper airplane with my name on it and threw it in a crowded room. Now I have my own fan club. That my son has a rare terminal genetic disease called Krabbe disease, and even though it's very rare, it's not tested for at birth in 39 states in the US, so you should have no way of knowing until it's too late. In March of this year, my boy was 20 months old and thriving. Walking, talking, and acting like any normal, almost 2-year-old boy, until he wasn't. One day, he stopped putting weight on his legs. Within a week, he couldn't sit up on his own. We got the diagnosis within a couple of weeks, much quicker than most families are able to. By then, he had lost his ability to crawl, and he was losing his arm and hand mobility as well. Through a series of what seemed like divine instances, we were able to have him evaluated to see if he could get a stem cell transplant to prolong his life. We have been in the hospital in Pittsburgh for 5 months now. He has gone through chemotherapy and the transplant, defying odds along the way. We hope to get him into a clinical trial for gene therapy, as that seems like the only path to a cure. My point in telling everyone I can is to spread the information about this disease and others like it so people can be more prepared where we weren't. Every state should have newborn screening, as catching it at birth can let these children live longer lives before beginning to feel the effects of the disease. As of now, my son will never walk again. Never crawl. Maybe never talk. If we had known at birth, he would most likely still have those abilities. I have a date tonight and think I like her and hope things go well. Oh man, wish you the best of luck and that all of your jokes will land and that she will get closer to you and that it's going to be great. You can do this. Good luck.